picks and bans phase. I do believe this is a semifinal match. Is this a semifinal match or a final match? The
We
TowerDive
just
TV
saw
Weekly at number 19.
we just saw the same team, the blue team, in our last game. So I'm actually jumping in here late. So would this be the finals? I don't have the brackets.
No, this is not the finals. I'm
Oh, it's a
certain this
semifinal.
isn't the finals. Yeah, this is a semifinal game
Okay.
that we're seeing right now. For the blue team so far, Amumu and Nidalee banned out. Purple team opting to take Vi and Twisted Fate off the board. Nidalee, an interesting ban. So go ahead and give me some reasoning as to why Nidalee is going to go ahead and be tossed out of this match.
I think Nidalee is more of an annoying pick than anything. I actually haven't had much experience with against Nidalee since the recent patch where they removed the armor and magic resist buff that she got in her cat form. So I'm not sure that she's so much of a ban worthy now, but she is still definitely annoying with that passive, just being able to poke you from the bush and then immediately run away. She's very safe from ganks. Those traps are pretty much free wards if you position them correctly. So I think they just don't want to deal with it. I think they're going for a team comp, especially if they were to say run Jace again. They just don't want to have to deal with Nidalee being able to poke down and sustain against that Jace.
Yeah, it most likely seems like this is a targeted ban right now, mostly because, I mean, Nidalee's just not a late game carry. She can do some damage. She's great as an AP heavy poke for, that kind of comp if you're running it. But, I mean, overall, she's not a late game carry like most AP mids are, and if she's building tanky in the top lane, she's not really living up to her damage potential. And your spears don't really do much. Your kit is kind of useless in your human form. So, I mean, I understand why they ban her out. It's most likely a respect ban at this point, but I still think that there would have been a lot better options to choose from, especially banning out things like Amumu and Hecarim, really targeted at those AoE heavy junglers. Banning out somebody like Jarvan would have been an amazing pick because Jarvan is like Amumu, but better. Or at least that's pretty much what every high-level player I've discussed Jarvan with has said lately. Is that, I mean, Jarvan's pretty much the new Amumu, and he's something to be feared at this point. I really think that adding in the Jarvan ban instead of Nidalee probably would have been better for them overall, but who knows.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
meantime,
absolutely.
do have the hovering over of the Sejuani. I'm not really sure what to say to this. I'm just gonna
No,
smile and nod. And
I
it's a
was really getting
Maokai.
excited. I was really getting excited. I was hoping they'd lock in
No.
Sejuani.
No, we're not going to sit here and discuss Sejuani for the next 5 minutes. They did decide to lock in that Maokai. Now, it looks like SW apostrophe G is yet to pick a champion, but we do have that Jarvan hovered over for the blue team, and I'm really excited to see this because this is exactly what I was hoping for. Fun fact, Taric and MF has one of the highest win percentages in bot lane matchups in the silver and gold elo right now. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, Tarek, very popular pick. Even after, a lot of people were really upset with this recent patch. A lot of people thought Tarek was getting nerfed super hard. His lane. What people don't realize is that Tarek didn't get nerfed in any way. The opponent he lanes with got nerfed. So they don't get the same armor that Tarek does in lane anymore. They get a percentage of his armor. So it's a lot easier to target down the carry rather than the support. And I think a lot of times people try to all in on Tarek for some reason because they realize he's gonna
Why?
pop.
Why would you do that? Sorry,
We might
continue.
we might see an Alistar come out in this, and I'm kind of agreeing with you. I don't know that I agree with this pick, but it I could see where it could work if Jarvan Cataclysm's on him. He can pulverize him out or headbutt pulverize him out. So that's pretty much it. In lane, he's gonna have a rough time going against those stuns of Tarek.
Yeah, I mean, not so much discussing the Alistar pick, just why would you focus a Taric in the early game? There's absolutely no reason to do that. But it looks like we're gonna have Xerath Alistar locked in on the part of the purple team.
You know,
But I mean,
I'm
I don't know. It's just I feel like it's a lot smarter to try and get to the 80 carry as opposed to dealing with Taric. I see so often going into games where people will opt to harass Taric as a support then harass MF, even though the opportunity is open to them. And I never quite understood that logic. Well, MF has a lot of mobility. Generally, harassing the AD carry, forcing them out of lane is a much better decision than, hey, let me go ahead and poke the support. They can go ahead and heal themselves.
Yeah, I'll get that in a second. We actually have an Elise and a Katarina locked in. I question this Katarina pick, especially if she's mid, And I would debate this to the end of my life going against Xerath. I do not think it's a smart pick at all. Xerath, especially once they hit 6, Katarina is done for because he has the instant cast E. I don't quite recall the name of it. I haven't had to talk about him. It's Mage Chains. Basically, what that does is it marks them with unstable magic, and then the next spell he hits them with will stun Katarina. Xerath has huge bursts, so he can immediately stun Katarina out of her ultimate, and then just spam his 3 times, and Katarina's dead. So I do not agree with that pick at all. But going back to the Taric, I think people like to focus down Taric because they're so used to him having the armor from his Shatter, and after he uses Shatter, he loses that armor. So I just feel like they feel like he's a lot weaker than he actually is. That's why people try to poke down Taric whenever he doesn't have that Shatter up.
That is an excellent point. Now, as for this Katarina, something that's going to be interesting coming into this game is to see what this Katarina is going to build. As I was discussing a little bit earlier, Katarina and Akali right now, or at least in recent trends, have been opting for Rylai's and Warmog's combinations for quite a bit of bulkiness, and in order to give them a bit of health so that they can sustain the damage that they generally take being the focus of fights. So while I like the Katarina pick, I think a lot of it is going to boil down to what they're building. Now, on that note, I have to say, blue team, really tanky team. Elise is going to be opting to build tanky, mostly due to the percentage base AP damage coming out from her. Katarina could potentially be building tanky with the Rylai's Warmogs combo. Jarvan is going to be building tanky. Taric is a very naturally tanky champion. I mean, outside of MF, there should be nobody that should be able to pretty much get insta-gibbed on their team. Now, the purple team has Maokai, Ezreal, Alistar, Xerath, which I have not seen in competitive play in a little bit, and a Shen coming out. Shen, he's most likely going to be going in that top lane with Maokai heading out in the jungle, but I mean, I would have liked to see somebody else as opposed to Shen. I think that there would have been a lot better picks for the top lane. Somebody with some nice crowd control would have been good, or some nice damage potential. I don't know if Shen was necessarily the best for this kind of kit.
I think if I had to predict right now, we do have the delay going in. I think they're going to try to go for a 2v1 lane, actually, because with Elise having that percent damage going into Shin's really going to have a tough time farming, and he's not going to be able to get into those minions while Elise can just chunk him down really well. So I'm not sure they would want that lane. So I think they're setting up for a 2v1 here because Alistar would do excellent in that lane. Shin would have this against the Elise. He would be able to, pulverize her back, keep her from farming, and then they could just really kill her at any moment that they need to. And whereas Shin's not going to have any mana cost if he goes into a 2v1. He just has to play it safe, queue his minions and just kind of chill back.
Yep, and I'm messing everything up today. Oh god. Oh no, I did it again. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm gonna stop messing with it. Just gonna go ahead and do that. That should be easier. Unfortunately, summoner blockers a lot easier to remove in XSplit than they are in OBS, and I just got rid of the wrong image. Holy hell, OBS! I love you so much. Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
OBS is layered backwards, so you have to move the summoner blockers to the top.
I noticed that, like, 10 seconds too late. I'm really good at this streaming thing. It's going incredibly well for me. I think I should make a career out of it.
Absolutely, I would follow you. Speaking of following, if you guys are enjoying the stream right now, there is a follow button to the top left corner above the stream. If you just click that, you can follow. We are live every day of the week with new content. We typically have people just streaming at random times as well, so there's always some entertainment for you generally. That was my quick plug while we had corrected her stuff.
Yay! Well, I got done and stopped fucking everything up. That's totally not the scene I want until the game actually loads in. Now it is. And they call me the derpiest caster in all of NA for a reason. Yeah, you also get to see me derp a lot. A lot. I don't believe Jarvan has actually been nerfed. I don't believe that armor aura has gone away yet. I don't think that came out in the most recent patch. I think that's planned for the next patch. I think there's also a little bit more Taric nerfs and adjustments coming, and I know there are adjustments being made to Elise. Yes, and Volibear is very OP in this patch. I hate Volibear.
Yeah, I don't really find Volibear overpowered. He's still the
Volibear's a
same.
jerk.
He's still the same Volibear. You know, he's just a nice bear that found himself a suit of armor, and he just wants to charge and give you a hug. You know,
I
that's it.
don't know. I'm sorry, but Volibear is an absolute jerk this patch.
I am Volibear, and you know, actually, Volibear was the first champion I ever played in League of Legends. So that's the patch I came in on. He was free the week I started, and I played him and fell in love instantly. All I would do was buy Warmogs. That was it.
You'd buy Warmogs? Just all Warmogs?
Yeah, that was it. I didn't understand the game at all, so I figured more health the better, and I won quite a bit with him. Yeah, so I just built a lot of Warmogs.
I'll give you guys a guess as to when my first champion was. I bet you'll never know.
Trivia question.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't think you've been around long enough to know that my one champion that I always play.
You seem to have a strong liking for Lulu, so I would guess her.
Oh man, you are so on top of things right now.
Genius.
I know, right? It's not really that hard to tell. I think Lulu is in like all of my backgrounds. My stream is decked out with Lulu. Even my icons on Twitter are Lulu. They're cupcakes, actually.
I would tune into the stream whenever you guys were over on Own 3D. I would tune in. You'd be streaming with Pluto a lot of the time, and I would just see you on Lulu and Pluto doing Pluto things.
Of course, that's kind of Pluto is known to do Pluto things. I don't know if you know that.
Very interesting thing right now, ladies and gentlemen. I got to point it out. Sorry to cut you off. Xerath just used his teleport to immediately teleport into lane. I'm not sure why he did it, but I'm intrigued. He does have a ward, but no one else has teleports, so I'm not sure if they're going to try anything sneaky.
I have no idea what just happened there. I'm going to be perfectly honest right now. Xerath opting to start with 4 pots and a fairy charm, but seriously, what the hell was with that teleport and ward coverage? They might be opting for an invade, but it really doesn't look like it. They're spread out in a much more defensive formation right now. That was a really, really weird move.
Yeah, I'm very confused by that. Well, they know Elise is in that bush because of that ward, and there are heavy pings going down, so they're... Oh, here comes Shin. Jarvan might actually be caught here. But, you know, if you catch Jarvan, that's not good when none of your team is around.
Nope, and there's the standard going out. Jarvan looking to come in here. And I actually know a few of these people, I think, that are playing the game. I'm pretty sure I know some nobody, and oh, it's Paul, which is funny because it's one person from each team. But either way, mad pings going down on the board. And that's a lot to expend. A teleport and 2 wards for no invade, for defending? I don't understand that. That's just...
I'm really confused by this. So I don't really know how to go in detail about this. I'm just gonna say that they're scared. And you know, Paul was just wanting to make sure Vision was out on the map. He's actually moving in right now.
You know what? Paul might be looking for a blue buff steal in the early game. That might be what he's going for right now with those early ward placements. He's just looking to come in and secure that, or they might be going for a first blood after Elise gets low from that. So that's going to be something that it's going to be really interesting to see. We can see nobody's actually quite low here, and the pings are down, but the retreat pings are out because Shen got caught. Oh, that is not good, and Xerath will be forced to return to his lane, getting absolutely nothing out of that. No blue buff, no early first blood, no nada. That sucks.
Very unfortunate. It just feels like it's 150 gold wasted.
It's just kind of, little bit wasted. I had to teleport down too, which is pretty much going to be invaluable in this game, especially being able to come into bot or top lane and secure those kills. Especially in bot lane right now, you don't want to see that MF snowballing at all. They want to shut her down and make sure that she has pretty much a miserable laning phase, because even if she...
Sorry to cut you off. Everyone's moving in on Maokai. He actually walked over a ward trying to invade. Maokai not a very good counter jungler, so you know, I'm really confused by their gameplay, but if he wouldn't have burned his flash there, he would have died a very gruesome death.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no idea what's going on. I'm not sure if these guys are trolling or what's happening, but I don't know what's going on. But they've got to make this laning phase miserable for MF. She's one of these AD carries that can have a bad laning phase, not farm too well, you know, have mediocre farm at best, and can still do very well come the late game. So So they're going to have to shut her down really hard to make sure she doesn't get that scaling. But, I mean, the same can be said for Katarina. All they have to do, prevent Katarina from getting kills, shut down MF's farm capabilities, and hold their own on top lane. And really, it could be Red Team's game if they manage to do those 3 things. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at this point in the game. White Castle
they're actually going in on Xerath right now.
Yep.
Katarina's chasing them down.
Yeah, and it looks like Paul going to be caught between a rock and a hard place, but Maokai coming in, he is going to get ignited, a lot of damage going down onto him, and he will surely be first blood. Katarina picking that up, that is not what they wanted to have happen. Oh, man, no.
At all. And he transferred the double with her to Katarina. That was really smart by them. While Xerath is a switchier target, and they had their focus on him, as soon as they saw Maokai, they immediately turned their attention onto Maokai because he's worth more. He has the double buff. So, you know, another lesson for everyone watching: if your jungler comes up and it's a 2v2 early game situation, kill the jungler. He's worth more. He has double buff. You really weaken that jungle early, especially if it's a Maokai.
Yeah, and now mid lane is going to be a problem for Xerath. He's just going to get bullied around here, but more importantly, Katarina's got that first blood gold, and now she has the snowball potential that really nobody wants to see on an enemy Katarina right now. Bot lane is in a precarious situation as well, because they're getting zoned out by this Taric fairly efficiently right now. Taric can pretty much come up with a stun and just scare them off.
Alistar pretty much just walking around here. He's actually zoning himself out right now. He's not even trying to put him back in. But they just didn't have really a good lane matchup pick on him. Ezreal's a good pick because he can farm safely if things start going bad. But Alistar, you know, he can't be used aggressively in this lane. He's really useless until they start team fighting or Maokai comes in for a gank. Even then, they're lacking damage because they have so much tanks on the team. Shin doesn't do much damage till late game. Maokai doesn't do much damage until late game, and Alistar doesn't do much damage. So they're really, what blue team needs to focus on is just shutting down Ezreal or Xerath, and they only have to worry about one source of damage coming out.
Exactly. I really, really don't like the situation that Red Team has managed to put themselves in. The things they did early game were just strange enough as it was, but Maokai looking to get his double buffs back. The stun will come out from Xerath, and Katarina will shampoo and manage to get away with only a sliver of health left. What a lucky, lucky lady. One more auto attack from Xerath, and she would have been dead. Definitely would have been dead.
I think what they went for there, Maokai actually tried to not auto attack her. So that way Xerath could pick up the kill and transfer the blue buff onto him. And because of that split-second decision, Katarina was able to just Shumpo away and live. So, again, not securing kills. You know, definitely they need to make sure they do that. Katarina's not someone they want to be able to live and keep going. They need their Xerath to get tanky and get damage, so when he uses his teleport, he can make sure to secure those kills.
Yeah, and it looks like teleport is back up for Xerath, so he does have that gank potential coming in. A few pings being alerted down in the bot lane, but nothing notable as of yet, and top lane also being pinged as well. But nothing coming out from this Xerath. I'm really interested to see what his next move with this teleport is going to be, considering his early invade strategy did not work at all.
Yeah, that did not go out very well. Shin actually just hit level 6, so they do have that global pressure now from the Stand United. So hopefully the blue team doesn't forget about that and have a game turn around that on.
Yeah, and it looks like Jarvan is actually setting up for something down here in the bot lane. The pings have gone down. It looks like we may actually see the teleport Stand United come in here momentarily. Or they're just pinging the wards. Really, one or the other. It looks like they're just pinging the wards. Damn, you have no idea how excited I am to see a good 4-man gank come into the bot lane and just nothing is happening, and I'm like on the edge of my seat waiting for it.
Yeah, once this game erupts, it's gonna go. So we really just need to, until that first piece of action comes, you know, it's gonna be real passive. You know, if Xerath or Katarina get going, you'll see action R on the board. Katarina actually looking like she's roaming down bot, and if she comes through river, there are no wards for the red side.
Yep, that's all been pinked out, but I'm sure the MIAs have gone out at this point. Katarina looking for an opportunity to engage, potentially get another couple of kills, but at this point it might mean tower diving, but she's not going to get anywhere close. I don't know necessarily why she decided to leave at that point, considering the lane is now pushing out, but Alistar and Ezreal are so zoned as it is. Their lack of early aggression have really not lent well to them this game. I mean, in all honesty, they should have been very aggressive in the early game. They wouldn't have had a problem. And wow, you are right. This Xerath is absolutely bullying around Katarina in lane.
Yeah, Xerath. See, the Xerath actually was very unpopular, but he wasn't unpopular because he was weak. He was unpopular because no one was really sure how to make him work or what good team comps he could go in.
Oh, and in the top lane, it looks like we have a gank. Shen will just opt to dash away and get out of there. Sorry about that. Please continue.
Fine. But yeah, going back to that, Xerath, he actually became popular because of a solo queuer. I can't quite recall his name, but the guy's played like 300 some games with Xerath, and that's the only champion he plays. He's one of those one-trick ponies. Xerath has huge burst potential, and he's very safe, so...
Oh, and there's the Ezreal and MF ulti coming out, and it looks like Stand United has been popped. Ezreal will try and get close enough. Jesus Christ, the flash dash coming out, that taunt, powerful enough to catch somebody out, but a flash, an ultimate burn, another flash burned. Two ultimates, two flashes down. I don't necessarily know if that was worth it. That was quite a bit to be burned, as well as an exhaust and Alistar's ultimate as well for one kill and no real map pressure. Probably not the best idea. Yeah, 3 flashes, 3 ultimate, or 2 flashes, 3 ultimates, and an exhaust for one Taric. Just quite a bit for a sport.
Yeah, and an Alistar. Keep picking up the kill. Like, if Ezreal would have picked up the kill, I could see where it would be a little more worth it, but Alistar's securing that kill. I have nothing wrong with support securing kills, but when you burn that much, you need to make sure it goes into the right hands. You know, Shin or Ezreal would have been a much better kill pickup there.
Yeah, and it looks like Jarvan is going to come in for the potential gank in the mid lane. Katarina blowing her ult rather early, and it doesn't look like either of them are going to be able to... Oh no, there's the Cataclysm, but the instantaneous flash coming out. And oh, it's Paul trying to lead them down and down and down, but Elise is here. Paul, what are you doing? What could you possibly have in mind? The Ignite is down. He's just kiting them like there is no tomorrow. And it looks like Katarina will finally pick up that kill. I think he was just waiting out for his ultimate to try and turn and burn somebody, but it did not work.
Yeah, and then he went ahead and popped that ultimate, so it's down for another 70 seconds. A very unfortunate situation. I'm not sure because I don't play Xerath much, but I know the Locust of Power, which is W, gives him movement speed once you deactivate it. So if he would have initially like popped that and then used it again, he could have potentially got away from the range for Jarvan to use Cataclysm and just flashed over Baron Pit and lived there. I'm not exactly accurate. I don't know if there's a huge delay on it, but...
Yeah, I don't know. That would just seem like a really... Just poor Xerath. I mean, he's down a kill. Katarina is up 2-0 right now, and she's got all the kills on her team. She's going to start snowballing here very, very soon. This game is not going to go well. And yeah, you know what? I completely agree. I have no idea what in the world is going on with these games today. We've just got like the wonkiest games that you could possibly imagine to cast.
Absolutely, but the wonkiest and more entertaining, I think. Look at that burst coming out from Xerath. Again, you know, just there's no safe zone for Katarina here. You know, if you just leave the CS different, 91 to 69, Katarina does have those 2 kills, which is pretty much all that's keeping her in the game right now. I feel if Xerath really just wanted to end her, he could at any moment.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we'll be waiting for, but without Ignite, Xerath doesn't really have as much kill potential as he potentially could, so he is kind of banking on that teleport to get himself some extra kills. The problem is that he hasn't utilized it since that level 1 attempt at trying to steal a blue buff that went terribly wrong after Shen revealed himself, and it looks like the flash coming out from Katarina, and there's a snare from Maokai, but he is taking tower shots and will have to back off as It's Paul will not be able to follow up.
Absolutely, Ahmad just trying to do the best that he can in here with Katarina. Top lane is really just a passive lane. I'm surprised we don't see more harassment with that. White Castle running out of mana. He's going to go ahead and back there. Really, I think Xerath just can't utilize teleport. Taric has been really good. SW, because we're not going to say his name, has really done a great job of just sync warding everything and make sure there's no access point for Xerath to come in.
And it looks like the bot lane, it's pretty much just a farm fest at this point, and this is not a good place for MF to be in right now. She's only got 13 farm over Ezreal.
We may see that 4-man tower dive that you want.
I know, right? We're about to see it right here, right now, as Jarvan goes in. The MF ultimate has been popped. There is Stand United. The Ezreal ultimate going out, but he will fall before Shen can get in there. Katarina picking up a double kill, the teleport coming in, but it is not going to be able to do much of anything. And oh, that is an ultimate down for Shen and another teleport down for Xerath. Then this is looking so bad for the red team right now. They're in a really, really, really unlucky spot.
Yeah, absolutely. While they do have the CS in their advantage, and that may bring them back in the game, with the exception of the AD carry. I think, I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game come in game. Right now, I think they have the early game dominance. But once Ezreal gets stronger and they're able to just burst down Katarina, I think that's when we're really going to see what's going to happen.
And yes, by outlucky, I mean outplayed. But no, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Both teams are incredibly strong late game. Elise, great tanky damage dealer. Katarina, you've got the potential tanky assassin build coming out on her. Actually looks like she opted for a Negatron cloak, and it doesn't look like she's going very tanky, but she is going all in on this Xerath, trying to get him to just die and get out of lane and leave her alone to farm, which should actually work because he is going back. You've got Jarvan, who's an amazing late scaling jungler, and you've got MF, who outside of her laning phase can still do phenomenal. And right now she's 0-0-2. She's up quite a bit of farm right now, and is really just looking to bide some time to get some items and wait out the team fight phase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really Maokai is what's gonna decide if red team wins or gets dominated. His ultimate is going to play a huge factor depending on how well he places it, because they do have, a huge chunk of AoE damage. While Elise does do single target % damage, people don't realize how explosive her volatile spiderling can be. So they're really putting a lot on Katarina's ultimate and then Jarvan ulti. But if Maokai just goes ahead and throws down his vengeful Maelstrom, I think that that's really going to negate 20% of all that damage, and especially in a tanky situation like they're in, Shin, Maokai, and Alistar, with Alistar's ultimate of reducing 50% more damage on top of that, they're going to have a tough time bursting down the teams with their burst comp that they have here.
Now, something interesting to note in the bot lane, they're setting up Katarina to get yet another double kill. They're just kind of waiting it out, putting down those pink wards, giving her the ability to come up, and we're going to have to see what happens here. Katarina just waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, Maokai is here. He is ready to respond. This could be a very interesting counter gank if they opt to go for the tower dive. It's going to be a really tense couple of moments down here in the bot lane while we wait for somebody to make a move while Jarvan holds this mid lane.
Yeah, they actually know Katarina's there because of that one stray ward by the red team in River. Katarina actually walked past that to go through Tribush and come in. So that's the one ward they didn't pink. I think it's just out of range because of where it's positioned in that wall. I think it's shadowed off. Let me check that real quick. Just because it's killing my cat. Yeah, it's just out of range.
Xerath going all in on this Jarvan, but it will not be enough to kill him. Maokai trying to put down some damage of his own, but it's just not going to work. And now Maokai on the defensive, doing his best to try and get away, but Jarvan coming in here, maybe a little too overzealous as Shen is in the Ezreal ultimate coming out, but it's not going to land. The Twisted Advance going down, and surely, yes, that will be a kill in favor of Shen and the red team. And now Katarina coming in, looking for the potential reset, but oh, MF to save the day, getting that bullet time and landing Katarina the assist for the reset. There is the flash stun coming out, and oh, its Paul is just going to melt, at least picking up that kill.
And that's what happens whenever Katarina and Elise get on top of someone squishy. They disappear from the world.
Yep, and it looks like Alistar is going to be the next to fall here, getting down very low. He's forced to pop his ultimate, the exhaust going down, but the flash auto attack will take him out, and now Ezreal forced to retreat under his turret. Meanwhile, it looks like Satan is getting engaged on, and White Castle just looking to pump out a little bit of damage and then get out of here. Unfortunately, that turret just dealing way too much damage for them to further engage.
Yeah, Satan simply getting worn down by White Castle. I guess the burgers of White Castle are too dominating for Satan to handle. Gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
Really?
But meanwhile, we do have he who shall not be named because it was too much travel. He is Misfortune is pushing down the tower. Oh, if he would have landed that actually accidentally clicked my timeline. I completely jumped away there. That messed me up. But Tarek, if he would have landed his dazzle, they would have definitely been able to secure that kill on Ezreal.
Yeah, but no worries there now. Interestingly enough, MF has opted to build a Black Cleaver first instead of the Bloodthirster first, looking to get as much damage out of her ultimate as she possibly can. She's going to be opting to hang towards that back line and just do whatever she wants to do in terms of damage and just fucking the enemy team up with a Jarvan ultimate. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Jarvan ultimates are going to be playing so much of a role in this between Katarina's ultimate, the ultimate that's going to be coming out from Taric, and then, of course, MF's ultimate as well. There's going to be so much damage, not a lot of crowd control. It's pretty much going to be on the red team not to group up in the team fight phase, and they might be able to do something. I'm not necessarily guaranteeing that they're going to be coming back because they're in a really bad situation right now.
I don't think Xerath is really... I don't think he's harassing from range enough like he needs to. Like, a good example there would have been when Jarvan was super low and he was right there inside their ward vision. He does have his ultimate. Xerath could really put some damage down and possibly kill Jarvan or burn to flash or anything.
Oh, and here we go. Jarvan trying to defend the turret, but he's not able to. Shen will take it down, and that will stop him from engaging. Now, Elise is here for the backup. He'll try and land the knock-up with no luck. Just have to get on out of there.
Meanwhile, this look is gonna. They have pushed down the top tower. That is the first tower of the game. So red team gonna go ahead and take that away. Looking at the gold counts, just for everyone to notice, 25.6k for blue and 23.4k for red. So they're not that far behind, despite the 7-2 kills. That tower and the difference in mid lane's farm is really keeping them in this game.
Yep. And it looks like that is going to be yet another ward down. Taric picking that up with a nice little pink. And it looks like Alistar and Ezreal are actually trying to be a little more aggressive here. I really do like this. I think they need to have a more aggressive approach to this lane overall. At least they should have from the early game to try and gain an advantage. But it may be too little too late at this point as they just try and push and really poke down Taric as much as possible at the moment.
Ezreal definitely, he opted to go for that Blade of the Ruined King first, which, you know, again, I don't think Ezreal is a champion that needs to rush Blade of the Ruined King. I prefer the Bloodthirster on him, and then with the recent reduction in price to Trinity Force, I actually like to build that again because it's only three total gold for the recipe rather than the 300, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in the heat of the moment, you know, that extra 297 gold is pretty luxurious. That or even just an Iceborne Gauntlet. It still gives him that same bonus effect, but he gets more kite potential.
It looks like Katarina engaging onto Xerath here. Xerath's ultimate has been popped. He will manage to get the stun and land a little bit of damage onto Katarina, but with that Negatron cloak coming out from her, it's just not enough. Now, something interesting to note is that Katarina, 4-0 right now, has a Zanya's Hourglass. This is going to be invaluable come the team fight phase when she's really going to be the focus of these fights. I'd really, really like to see her go for a very tanky assassination build because right now her team has the damage. They have the advantage. She can not only afford to do it, but I mean, the enemy team just won't know how to deal with it. I honestly think that they won't be able to compensate for her health. And it looks like MF going to go ahead and engage here. The ultimate has come out from Shen. Stand United is down. He will go ahead and taunt right into Taric. And now the MF bullet time is out. She will not manage to pick up any kills here. She retreats down under her turret. Shen looking like he wants to die, but Jarvan is here to react. And Taric is down. And now Katarina and oh, it's Paul about to have it out here in the mid lane. And Katarina will easily pick up that kill. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, it looks like Shen going to have to try and taunt away, but it will not be enough. As, oh, it looks like Alistar going to get fairly low here, but in the top lane, the flash coming out from Maokai, and Katarina coming in for the cleanup in the top lane, but in the top lane, it looks like Elise going to go ahead and pick up a kill. Meanwhile, down in bot, Katarina not managing to pick up anything quite yet, and she is going to try and go in on this Alistar to pick something up, but no, it is not going to happen. The taunt coming out from Shen, but it is not going to be enough, and no more kills will be awarded to any team. Meanwhile, MF taking turrets. Taking turrets, not tanking turrets. I could talk. Totally talk.
The action just erupted. You know, like we said, once we got those first kills, Katarina just really making plays happen right now. They did take, red team did secure, or I'm sorry, blue team secured that top and bottom
coming
tower.
in with the ultimate for one kill. Will he be able to get the double? I don't think it's going to be possible. He did just activate for a little bit of movement speed, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to a Katarina at this point. The ping's coming down, but no, she's just going to go ahead and jump away. And yes, it's probably the third time I've said top lane. When I met bot lane, I got like 3 hours of sleep after staying up for nearly 24 hours. So that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get much sleep last night either, don't worry.
I'm trying really hard not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, your casters have no fumes left. We're running
Exactly.
off what we can.
I'm running off of like a sip of energy drink right now, and I'm hungry.
And Alicia's erupting on Paul. Oh man, she might, oh, she got that kill. Wow,
Yeah,
White Castle just came in and
easily gonna pick
immediately
that up.
killed Xerath.
Unfortunately, Xerath's lack of escape mechanisms makes him an unpopular AP carry right now. It's not his lack of damage, but his lack of ability to really get away. And from somebody who like Elise, who has that hard crowd control, the ability to close gaps, and just that upfront bursty damage, he's not going to win against her at any point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. Xerath is really a different playstyle. You sit back in the jungle and you snipe people because of the increased
Oh, and it
range.
looks like Ezreal going to go ahead and try and go in here, but the bullet time coming out from MF will just force him off of that turret and unfortunately keep him from getting that kill. So a nice play by MF, but oh my god, Maokai getting down very low, feeding Katarina. Yet another kill as Elise jumps up into the air. Just, dear god, that upfront damage from Elise. Just too much to handle.
Absolutely. Oh, and they're going on Shin right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Shen is going to get down very low. Katarina getting that turret, but Xerath coming in with his ultimate, actually doing a very fair bit of damage. Shen using Stand United to try and give him an opportunity, and Xerath will manage to pick up the kill on Elise. Alistar coming in here, and oh, it looks like the Shumpo will manage to save it's Paul, and SW''G will manage to get out of there all right.
That's actually not an apostrophe. That's
I know.
a little bitty A.
Is it a little bitty A? It looks like an apostrophe.
Yeah. It's a very, very tiny A.
It looks like an
I
apostrophe.
didn't notice it until we were in the match lobby.
I'm sorry, I thought it was an apostrophe. I'm not calling him that name, okay? He's just SW now. You don't even get your full name. Your name is SW. Live with it.
I'm just calling him Tarek. You know?
Tarek works. I like Tarek.
Tarek in himself, he's truly outrageous. So
Oh, God.
What more could you want to be other than Tarek?
Exactly. He's fabulous, too.
Meanwhile, we have some newbie just shoving up mid lane. He's I don't really know what he's doing. In the power of the noob, it just goes to show you guys a newbie can make it this far in a tournament.
Oh, that's not very nice to say, but it looks like Alistar and Maokai both caught out in this war. This pink is down, and now they will be able to take this dragon, potentially uncontested. The Mad Ping's going down onto that inhibitor. That is going to be their next goal of the game right now. And with the advantage they have, I don't see why they wouldn't. Pretty much ahead, 6,000 gold. They've got the turret advantage. They've got the map control. They've got pretty much everything they need. They have the engaged potential. All they need to go in is go in, clean up a fight, and then it's just going to be GG. I can talk. I can talk.
And something I want to point out, despite, again, we see on the blue team, the 80 carry builds, his builds just irk me. He doesn't really have that much damage. He did a Black Cleaver into a Phantom Dancer. That bothers me, personally. I don't know, it may be a good combination I'm not aware of, but I think he's really lacking some damage right now. I don't think he needs the attack speed from the Phantom Dancer because he maxed the impure shots, which is already going to give him a 50% attack speed increase.
Yeah, impure. And here we go. Bullet time coming out, and Jarvan coming in with his ultimate, that Cataclysm going down, and Elise picking up the first kill, but she will quickly fall to Ezreal as he gets that revenge kill, but Xerath, the double kill coming out from Katarina. She will easily pick up the triple. And oh no, that reset. And it looks like Shen will manage to get away, but I have to agree. That 23OQ I4J23IO53AK3 should have most likely built a Bloodthirster instead of that Phantom Dancer. Probably would have been a lot more useful. Impure Shots is great for laning. The laning phase, especially when you're doing a lot of heavy trading like they were doing, as opposed to her double up. I totally know what ability names are, as opposed to double up where you're looking to more farm and just trying to have some passive harass. But when you're in those active engagements, there's nothing wrong with leveling up Impure Shots.
Absolutely. And again, we see from Ezreal, he does the Blade of the Ruined King into an Infinity Edge. Infinity Edge, very expensive. I believe it's 3,800 gold to complete. So he's really lacking on his build. I think if he would have also just went for that early Bloodthirster into, Trinity Force or even a Phantom Dancer in that case, I think he'd be a lot more useful than he is right now.
Ugh, I hate Trinity Force right now. I really do like seeing the Blade of the Ruined King on him, but I would have liked to see potentially a few other items come out from him as well. And it looks like Tarek is going to go ahead and get caught out here. Xerath doing quite a bit of damage. Will he manage to pick up the kill? It looks like they're debating who to give the kill to, but Shen just going to go ahead and pick that up as Elise comes in looking for the potential burst damage, and instantly half of his health, forcing the Alistar out to flash, and Elise will go ahead and engage and just nom upon him for some more damage.
Day, you do not leave a cow in White Castle because he will turn into little burgers.
Apparently, that is actually a very good point. Thank you for that. Wow. And Elise just doing so much damage right now. 5-1, Katarina 9-0. And it looks like MF, you know, not even being shut down. She's fine on farm. She's just where Ezreal is. Everybody on the part of the blue team very strong right now. The kills are where they need to be.
Yeah, Katarina with 9 kills is very, very devastating. She's going to be able to kill pretty much anyone she wants. And then Elise having 5 kills. Actually, on that last back, picking up her Ralli's Crystal Scepter, so even more lockdown on their team. No one's going to be able to escape that burst.
Exactly, especially with the burn coming out from that Leandries as well. Just, oh, it's going to be really scary going up against that Elise. Now, something interesting to note is that this Alistar, if I recall correctly from the loading screen, is actually the only silver player on his team. Now, that could be something that's really scary to go up against. You know, maybe he's not playing a champion that he's necessarily comfortable with, or maybe he can't play it on the scale that his team wants him to. But I have to say, there have been a lot of faults in this game. Probably the biggest one being Xerath, and then next to that being the lack of aggressive gameplay in the bot lane's early game. It probably led to the downfall of this team.
It looks like the blue team's just going to go and pick up that Baron with ease.
Yeah, that's not going to be contested at all. They are going to manage to catch somebody out here, I'm sure. Jarvan looking for the potential engage, the flash stun coming out, and there is the Cataclysm. Bullet time going down, all for one little Maokai, and he will fall the Ezreal ulti going down. But it looks like just a random stun being tossed out by White Castle, and now the cow forced to blow his ultimate, but he will go ahead and fall. Katarina picking that up. And that is one legendary Katarina who is 10-0-5 right now. Holy hell, guys. Like, talk about
really
feeding
erupted.
Katarina.
That's very unfortunate considering that Xerath is really good in lane as far as keeping her from farming, and he really got ahead. It's just the ability for Katarina to roam, and Xerath not utilizing that teleport effectively. Katarina is just able to snowball this hard.
Yep, that one kill in the early game pretty much secured it for them, and they just went on from there. This is going to be a dead turret. I have absolutely no doubt in your mind, and now it's all about contesting this inhibitor, which I don't think they're able to do because of the Baron buff that's on them, the fact that they have a stronger team fight, and, you know, just all around the damages. Oh my god, the damages.
Yeah, and a really good thing to point out, actually, give credit where credit is due in the Twitch chat. The red dot. I actually.
Oh, and here we have the engaged Shen coming in here with the taunt, and there we go. Katarina coming in with the ultimate. She will get one reset, but the Zanya is coming out, doing her best to try and save herself, but it will not happen. Xerath will pick up that kill, and now Jarvan taking them down as well. Elise and Tarek alike picking up kills onto Xerath and Shen, respectively. Ezreal, the only one getting out of there, and that is Chi-Ji. Well played coming out from the red team.
Yeah, that absolutely. And that last team fight, you know, that was just the perfect engage. Red team really just, it was do or die for them. They either had to get some kind of excellent team fight and somehow pull through, or they were going to lose either way. So, very heroic effort by them.
We just got told, don't doubt my cat, Mr. Commentator. I don't think we ever doubted Cat. Just said it wasn't going to be the nicest thing going up against Xerath 1v1 in the laning phase.
Mod 1, me 0. He showed that he can outplay Xerath. Really excellent game put out by him. I do agree with the red dot from the Twitch